I stood
right?
near the far wall
I
of
will
the
try
ballroom,
to do some
clutching
late
my
night
small
streams.
gift bag like it was a
I will
shield.
notify you guys through the
73
Discord, okay?
guests, all dressed like they belonged in a magazine-spread silk gowns, cufflinks, practiced laughter. The chandeliers caught every lie and made them sparkle.
Not a big fan.
I wasn't
She's
supposed
still
to
a
be
good
here.
singer.
That thought looped in my mind as I watched my mother float from guest to guest like royalty.
I am
My
very
father held court near
unfamiliar
the
with
bar
the
with a circle
genre
of
and
men I
the
recognized from base
artists
visits, military
that
brass with permanent
make this
grins
kind
and
of
expensive
music,
watches.
right? What I
And
do
then
notice is that
there was Caleb,
I will
my
never
brother, the
actually
golden
choose
child,
this music out for
decorated,
myself,
beloved,
but I do
effortlessly magnetic.
get why
He stood
people
at the
listen
center of
this.
it all,
If I listen to this,
basking
my
in their
brain
praise
just
like he
goes
hadn't ignored my calls for the
silent.
last 3
Just
months,
takes
like
away
he
all
hadn't
of
left
my
me off the
thoughts.
seating chart
And music
entirely until
takes over,
someone must have
right?
reminded
So
him
it
that I
can be
existed
really
when he
great to
finally noticed
vibe on,
me.
I can
It
imagine.
wasn't a reunion,
It
it was
could be
a
really great
performance.
to listen to.
Celine,
But
he
for
said,
me, for
lifting his
streaming,
glass in mock
if I would
surprise,
have this
his voice
music on
just loud enough
constantly,
to
I
hush
would
a few
just struggle
conversations
with
nearby.
keep
Didn't know
chat
they let
going
freelancers in with the
and
real
talk to you
professionals.
guys.
A few polite chuckles. I smiled thinly, tucking my hair behind my ear. Guess not everyone
And
can
the
serve their
batting,
country,
okay,
he
crayon.
added, sipping his
You know,
drink.
may
I tilted my head.
the organizing
And not
gods be
everyone
with
has to
you,
be
and I
funded by
hope you
someone
get it
else's
all done
trust
by
fund to look
today. Okay,
impressive. It was subtle,
I really like
almost
that you
too
came by
quiet,
in chat
but
today.
it
I missed
landed.
you,
The
so
air
you know.
changed. Caleb's smile faltered, and then he looked past me. I felt it before I saw it, my father's presence. Heavy, heated. His hand closed around my upper arm. What did you just say, he asked.
Joanna didn't,
Low and dangerous.
I never get it right.
I opened my mouth, but I never got
Don't
the
you
chance
get
to
tired
answer.
of
The
explaining
slap
all of
cracked
your
across my
jokes
cheek
to me?
like a rifle shot. Conversations stopped. Forks paused midair.
What do you use
then
again
his hand
to play
tangled
on
in my
music?
hair,
I use
yanking me
Spotify.
backward so hard my scalp screamed. The
And I
room
know,
blurred
like,
as I stumbled,
Spotify
heels
has been
slipping against
in a lot of
polished marble.
debates
He dragged me toward the
recently
doors
because
like I
of the
was
use
garbage.
of AI
I gasped,
music
but
that
the
is
breath
taking
caught
over the
behind pain.
Spotify playlist.
My hands reached for balance, for mercy,
And I know,
for
like,
anything.
one of you
I heard it
shared
next to the
once a
sharp, high
different
sound of my mother
music
laughing,
platform with
not
me,
out of shock,
but I
out of
haven't
amusement,
really took
like
the
this was
time to look
theater.
into it.
Then the applause. One person, Caleb. You had it coming, he said, smiling as he clapped. Like he was proud. No one stopped him. Not one of the 73.
Listen to this because
not
it's
one
real
hand reached for
composition
mine.
music,
They
technic,
watched.
lyrics,
They whispered.
and
But
so
they
on.
let it happen.
Yeah,
Outside,
I can see
the
that.
air was cooler.
Same
The
goes
night
for
too
classic
quiet.
music.
My
Start to
father
listen.
shoved me once more
Yeah,
and let
and
go.
brain go in the
I
place the
stumbled
music
forward,
drive you in.
caught
And
myself
even
against
after
a
the
stone
music
column,
stopped, you're still
and
wandering
straightened.
in the place.
My scalp
Yeah, I
burned.
can see
My
this.
lip bled.
I
My
can
chest
see
ached,
why
not
a lot
from
of
injury,
artists
but from the shame
like
that
to
wouldn't
listen
stop
to this
blooming.
kind of
I
music.
didn't look back. I walked
I
toward
think
the
for
parking
making
lot, my
art,
heels clicking
this would
against the
be
concrete. Each
very nice
step
to do
heavier
and
than
just
the last,
vibe and
and my
paint a
fingers
little bit.
already searching for my phone. I drove with one hand
And you
clenched
were
around the
always like,
steering wheel,
I'm
the other gripping
not
a wad of tissue pressed against my lip.
forcing my
Blood
music
kept
onto you,
seeping
Joanna,
through.
right?
The
Because if you
streetlights
don't want to
blurred
listen
past
to
like
it, then what's
witnesses
the
too afraid
point?
to speak.
But
My
actually,
scalp
I think
pulsed
there's
where his
nothing
fingers
wrong
had
with
torn
this
through
music.
hair,
I'm glad
and my
you
cheek
shared it, even
throbbed in
though
rhythm
it's a
with
little
every
bit
heartbeat.
of a
But none
different
of it was
genre than what we
unfamiliar.
usually
This
listen
wasn't
to.
the first time, just
I can
the
listen
first
to
time with
about
an
anything.
audience. I'd been shoved into walls before, called ungrateful,
I can see the beauty
told I
in
was
all
lucky
kinds
to
of
be
music.
fed. My father had always known how to weaponize disappointment my mother, how to disguise cruelty
I
as
had a lot of
refinement.
practice.
And Caleb. He made a career out of
Anyway,
ignoring me
enough
until
with
it was
my
time to prove his
opinion.
worth by comparison.
Wait.
When I was 8,
That's not an
I brought home a
opinion.
drawing I was proud of.
That's,
My mother told
that's
me not
just
to pin it to the fridge. It
why
would clutter
you
the
like
kitchen.
to.
When I was 16,
Why you like to
I
listen
got accepted
to it,
into
right?
an art program. My
Not
father
an
asked if
opinion,
it was
that's an
real school or just
explanation.
doodling with tuition.
I like
On my
to
25th
do a
birthday,
suggestion.
I called Caleb.
Charles B.
He didn't answer.
Matt Murder,
Later,
how to better,
I saw
faster,
photos of
stronger.
him celebrating
I
at
know
a
that.
rooftop
I know
bar
that
with my
one.
parents.
Well,
Tonight
if this
wasn't a betrayal.
this song is
It
over,
was a summary. I
we
pulled
will
into
do a
my
little
apartment
switch.
lot, parked,
If chat
and sat for a
agrees,
moment
if you guys
staring at
want
the
to
building.
be listening
My hands were
to
still
this
shaking.
genre
My
more,
dress was torn at the shoulder.
we can
Fabric
keep the
ripped
other
in the
music
same
for
spot
another
he'd
day.
grabbed. I took a breath, then another. Inside,
I
I flipped the
I
bathroom
am
light on and
requesting
met
a
myself in the
poll to
mirror.
time crayon
Swollen
out
lip,
for 25
bruised
minutes
cheek,
so he'll get
tangled
his
hair.
chores done.
My reflection looked back without flinching.
You know,
It ends tonight.
I'm not affiliate,
I
so
said
I
aloud.
cannot do a
I
poll.
walked to the kitchen and pulled out my
But
phone.
you can vote
Scrolled
in the
past
chat.
names I hadn't touched in years. Then I found it Dana Calder, back in school. She was the sharp one. Studied contracts for fun. Argued with professors and won. I once
I'm
lent her
on
a
them.
textbook when she couldn't afford
Nice,
one.
great.
That was a long time ago. I hit
If
call.
you have some time
The
to
line rang
spare, why
twice.
not hop in the plane and
Celine,
come
she
to do some
answered,
chores for me as
groggy.
well? That would
It's
be
me.
great.
I need
It
help.
would be great.
A pause. Talk to me, she said. So I did. Dana met me at a quiet coffee shop off Eastman
bake
Road the
a
next
apple
morning.
pie for you.
She didn't waste time with small talk. Just
Because that
pulled
would
out
be
a legal
easy,
pad
because
and
you would
waited.
be there
I
to
told her
finish
everything. From the
up the
moment I
dishes
walked
for
into
the
the
apple pie
ballroom
as
to the
well.
second I slammed my car door shut and realized I
that's
couldn't
just
keep
me.
pretending it was normal.
Just
I
me.
didn't soften it this time. I didn't try to protect them. And Dana. She never interrupted, never flinched, just listened. When I finished, she nodded once and said, "We document everything." By the time I left the cafe, I had a list of next steps and a folder in my bag labeled evidence. I didn't know what healing looked like, but this felt like a start. That afternoon, I knocked on the door 2 floors down. Rick Delano opened it.
I come over to
already
help
half
with
expecting
your
me.
chores, then we
Thought I might
fly
see
back
you,
to my
he
place to
said,
clean my
stepping
apartment.
aside.
I think
Rick
it
had
would
been
be
my
so
landlord
much
for
more
3
cheap
years.
to
The kind of guy who
actually
remembered to salt the sidewalks
hire
before a freeze and never asked
cleaning maid.
questions about noise unless it
Don't
sounded
you
like
think?
danger.
It's a
He used
trap.
to be
Yes,
a
it's
cop.
a trap.
Now he worked freelance
Because
security
then I would
gigs
be
and
stuck in
sometimes,
Crayon's basement.
quietly, found things people
Probably.
didn't want found. I handed him the slip of paper Dana had given me names,
No,
dates,
I don't
a
think
bank
Crayon
account
is
number
that
I
kind of
barely
person.
remembered.
I know
If
for
there's
sure.
anything off, I said. I need to know. Rick took
This
it.
is probably the
eyes
smoothest
scanning
way.
the
It's
list.
smoothest way. I've
Off,
asked
kid.
a woman to
I
come
can already
over
tell
to
you
my
none of this
place.
is
It was
clean.
pretty smooth,
night,
actually.
I sat on my bed,
Yeah.
lights off, folder in my lap, staring at the bruises on my arms in the glow of my phone screen. A message buzzed through from Dana. Start saving everything. This won't stay private.
I can
I read
sure
it twice.
trap you in
Then
other
I
way.
opened a new album in my phone and named it Proof. Rick knocked on my door 2 days later, holding a manila folder that looked heavier than paper should allow.
That
Got
vanish
something,
thing
he
doesn't work
said,
in your lives.
stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. I
Too
sat
bad
across
for
from
you.
him at the kitchen table. He laid out the documents in quiet rows, bank statements, wire transfers, emails with clipped subjects like internal shift and fund transfer authorization. I didn't understand the numbers at first.
If I
Then I
did the
saw
same
the
as
account
Crayon, I'm
ID.
pretty sure
It was
Interpol would
mine.
have knocked
Your
at my
father's
door
name
in
shows up
less
here,
than an
Rick
hour.
said,
You
tapping the
think
second
so?
page. And again here, signing as trustee. The dates lined up with Caleb's promotion. With the new car my mother suddenly drove. With the pictures of golf outings I'd seen
you are
online.
missing though
Always
is,
tagged
you
at
know,
the country club I
if
never once
Crayon
stepped
comes
foot in.
over
I
first
picked
and
up
I'll
one
trap him
document, a
first,
series of
you
withdrawals
know,
over
nobody
3
would
years. The
suspect
totals made
me.
my stomach
That's
twist.
like,
This was
that's
supposed to
real
be
thing.
mine. I said, my education, my future, used it to grease wheels. Rick
Why
muttered,
did you tell me
promotion
that,
boards,
though?
donations to base foundations, even paid a
Because
publicist.
I
all
get
under your
lewd in
trust.
chat
He
sometimes.
pulled out
Okay?
a printed email.
So
The subject line read, "Ensure Caleb stands out." The body was short. His father was very persuasive. Dana arrived an hour later,
is it trapping
skimming
if
through the
I want
pages
to
with silent
stay?
intensity.
Believe me,
This
I have
isn't just
3 kids.
misuse,
You don't
she
want to
said.
stay.
It's fraud, maybe even laundering. We can go civil or criminal. Maybe both.
They will scream
I
you
nodded
awake
slowly,
at like
but my hands were
6:30 in the
cold.
morning,
The
and it will
slap from my
be
father had
noise
faded into
all
a
day
dull
until
ache.
they go to bed.
But this was something else. They didn't just hurt me.
And then it's
They
not only
built
me; it's also
everything they had
it's
from
also
what was
the husband.
supposed to be mine. I want it on the record.
You don't know him
I
at
said.
all.
Voice low. Dana didn't hesitate. Then we start
can be
with
a trap
exposure,
for Crayon.
and
I'm
I
pretty
knew
sure I
exactly who
would
to call
enjoy
next.
it.
The invitation
Oh
came through a
wait,
text
did
from my
I
mother.
already?
Let's
Yeah,
talk
this
this through
song
like
now
family.
for me gets too
Come
busy.
by tomorrow at 3.
Shut up.
No apology. No explanation. Just that familiar tone,
back to
soft enough to seem reasonable, sharp enough to cut if I didn't comply. Dana raised an eyebrow when I told her, "You're not going alone." But I needed to. I needed to see how far they were willing to go. Now that they knew I wasn't staying silent, their house looked the same. Too clean, too perfect. The lemon polish, the floral candles. I stepped inside, and time warped. The hallway still had that photo of Caleb at his first medal ceremony. I wasn't in any of the frames. My mother met me with a smile stretched thin. Pastel cardigan draped just right. "Celine," she said, as if saying my name gave her power over it. Let's get to the heart of this.
Wow, I wish I could do that, but you know, as a mom, I cannot traumatize and damage my children
legs crossed,
with
scrolling
purpose.
his phone like he didn't remember applauding while I bled. "We want to move forward,"
we go back,
my mother said sweetly, quietly. My father added. He pushed the papers toward me.
Imagine how freaked
an NDA,
out
a waiver of
Mr.
legal
Rose's
claims,
name was
a check
Speed.
tucked inside, visible just enough to remind me what silence was worth to them. "That's your idea of resolving this," I asked. "You've made your point,"
Sounds
he
like
said,
a skill issue.
voice hardening.
Why?
"Let's not drag this out." I scanned the room, and that's when I saw it. A small black recorder, poorly hidden near the lamp base. I almost laughed. They wanted to buy me off and trap me at the same time. I stood up, placed the papers back on the table. "You think this is about money?" I said quietly. It never was. My father's face darkened. "Don't play the victim." I leaned forward, meeting his glare. "I'm not playing anything. I came here to give you a chance.
You know, that is something that I miss.
Now
like,
it's gone.
Sometimes you will see streamers do like
Caleb muttered something under his breath.
Cool polls and stuff, right? Like how much work would I actually be able to be doing today? And then people can bet on that and either win or lose the points.
Near the courthouse
so maybe you need to figure out if we are able to do that with the Streamlabs points system. And while we are talking about that, I actually forgot to give everyone their points because, you know, all of a sudden I was offline and my time got swallowed by the kiddos. So I am going to do that after stream. I'm going to reward the points to the people that already redeemed that.
Her face unreadable. When she reached the part about Caleb's promotion being funded through my trust, she let out a low whistle. "They're not going to walk away from this," she said. That's the point. By the time I left the cafe, Dana had already released a legal statement formal, clear, cold as steel. The language cut straight through pattern of coercion, financial abuse, and physical assault. No embellishment, just facts.
And
Jenna's
this is more
article
close
dropped
to the
3 hours
music,
later.
which I would listen if I just want to tune out
Assaulting
and
daughter
vibe a
trust
little
fund
bit, right?
misuse.
While doing chores and
Alleged
stuff
embedded
like
at the top was the ballroom footage. My father's hand
like
across my
electronic
face.
music.
The drag by the hair. Caleb clapping. My mother smiling. Within minutes. It was everywhere. I didn't check the comments. I didn't have to. Dana called just before midnight. 3 clients have pulled out of your father's firm. Caleb's been placed on administrative leave. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the ceiling, the house I grew up in, the family that built themselves on silence and image they were crumbling. And I hadn't even said a word publicly, yet. As I hung up, my phone buzzed again. A blocked number, just one line. "You think you've won." The lawsuit hit 2 days later. Dana forwarded the notice with a short message.
Now that's the
They're
type
going
of
for
music I
defamation.
will avoid.
We
I mean,
expected
just
this.
repetitive beat
Attached
is
was their
already
version of the ballroom video.
enough to get
Edited,
my nerve,
cropped,
but time?
muted in parts and
Really?
looped in others. In this version, my father looked calm. My
That's
voice was
interesting.
raised. It made me look erratic, unhinged, dangerous. They want to control the narrative. Donna said during our call, they're betting public perception will turn before we can file our counter. And for some, it worked. The internet became a war zone.
You
Messages
seem to
flooded
like
in some
a lot
kind,
of
some cruel,
kind of different
others
music as
just
well,
noise.
right?
I was called brave.
This is purely a curiosity because I don't care about points.
An attention seeker.
How
a
is
fraud.
Attendance
I stopped
track?
reading the comments after the third time.
Like say
someone
some
said I was
weirdo
lucky he only hit me
a
once.
whole stream without saying anything.
I sat in the dark
Does
with my
that
phone
still
face
count?
down on the coffee table, trying not to listen to the echo of my mother's laugh.
The only way
the
to
sound
monitor
had
it
lived
is
in my head for years,
through
but now
Streamlabs,
it had
right? And
company, my
Streamlabs
father's lawyer.
will
Their
look at, will
accusations,
show
the endless
the
edits
amount of
cutting
hours
truth into
watched,
fragments.
right?
The phone buzzed
So
once,
at this point,
a blocked number.
I can
I
set
turned it
like
over.
point
You don't
system
know
for
what's coming.
people that are
I
watching.
didn't flinch. I just
can
stared at it
add,
until the
for
screen dimmed.
example, higher
Dana called
amounts
again
of
the next
points for
morning. Her
chatters. That
tone
is what I
clipped and
have been
focused.
doing
They've
the
hired
last
Marcus
couple of
Layton.
months since
I
we
blinked.
realized
The
like
corporate
this
fixer.
point system is not
He's the guy people
being
call
fair.
when they want a scandal buried
You
before it
can
hits the
do
press.
like, for example, if
He's
somebody
good.
rates in, you
Celine.
can give them
I leaned
extra
back
points
against
for
the kitchen
every
counter.
rate that you
So we
receive.
go louder. There was
So
a
basically,
pause.
once I start
Then
to give
Dana
the points
said,
out, it will
"Good,
just be based
because the
on
real
watched
fight
hours.
starts now."
So
And I was already
technically,
reaching for the next
lurkers
piece of evidence.
have the advantage.
The courtroom was
but
cold in a way that had nothing to do with
Streamlabs loyalty
temperature.
points
My
now is
father
giving
sat
out
at the
more
plaintiff's
points to
table in a
chatters.
suit I knew cost
You
more
know,
than my rent.
chatters will have
Caleb
a certain
beside him,
advantage. as
pale
well.
and stiff. My mother didn't make eye contact. Dana stood like she'd been born for this. She opened with the bank records precise, undeniable. Transfers from my trust into shell companies.
Is it infuriating for you?
Then
Let me
came the
skip
promotional invoices tied to Caleb's
something
career.
different for you.
Finally, the voice recordings Rick helped recover casual conversations between my father and colleagues, bragging about redirecting family assets.
I think overall,
the
like
opposing
the
counsel tried to
playlist
object,
that
but Dana was surgical. Every
that
fact had a
Shinigami
backup.
made
Every backup
is
had a
actually a
signature.
really good playlist.
When it was
for
my
stream.
turn, I stepped forward
It
and
was
raised
nice
my right hand.
to have
voice
some
didn't shake.
suggestions for the
I
music.
told them what I remembered, not just the slap, not just the dragging, but the years leading up to it, the insults in private, the erasure in public.
But I think
money
like
I
this
didn't
kind
know I
of
lost
music
until someone
works
else
really
cashed
well
it
for
in.
streaming.
They didn't just
It's
silence
nice to
me.
have on the background.
They
It's
spent
nice
me.
to hear
The
while
judge
talking
listened carefully,
and while
and when it
crafting.
ended,
So it's
he
a little
looked
bit
directly
of a
at
good
my
vibe,
father
I
and
think.
said, "This court finds reasonable cause to open further investigation into possible criminal misuse of trust funds. Civil
From
proceedings will
Mozart
be
to
paused
Metallica.
pending that
Yeah,
review."
exactly. I feel the
Outside,
same.
the
I
press had
feel
already
like
gathered.
there's beauty to be
Flashes,
found
microphones,
everywhere.
voices calling my name.
But
I
not
stood
everything
there,
is
not as their
appropriate for
daughter,
every
not as the girl
moment.
dragged across marble tile, but as myself.
Like if
This
I,
isn't
for
revenge,
example,
I said.
I can see
This is
like having
justice. And finally,
metal
I
music,
felt what it was like to mean
listening
every
to
word I
that
said.
while
The full
painting,
video
for
went
example.
live 2 days
But if I
later.
would set up
No
that
edits,
kind of
no
music
slow
when I'm
motion,
just chilling
no
with my
cuts to
children in the
protect
house,
reputations,
that would totally
just
like
truth. My
why